Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Stephen Kalayjian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, today it got ugly. You saw stocks like Meta trading 610 all the way down to 585. You saw the S&P futures today trade as high as 57.64 3/4 and traded all the way down below 5,700. It's a wild day. Volatility is here. I've been telling you about volatility. There were a couple really phenomenal, great patterns right at this morning when the S&P futures were pushing up. The first thing I did was I went over and I looked at the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. I'm like, no. But I did not expect, I was expecting maybe a 20, maybe 18 to 20 handle drop on the S&Ps. We got over a 65-point drop in the matter of 7 bars on a 30-minute time frame. So we saw a really big drop here. The pattern that I'm really going to tell you right now, my number I told some big institutions was the 57.70, the 58.50 on the S&P. And today we hit, a couple of days ago, we hit 57.70, and today we hit 57, almost 65, 64 3/4. This pattern here that I'm showing you on the daily and the weekly does not look good. I'm hoping we get one more push up, because then I would really love to see them get cabooshed. Because when you have the weeklies go to sell, as I'm going to show you on the SPY and on the S&P futures, you normally short the first bounce. And here is the first bounce on the daily. So let me show you this pattern here. So the weekly reverses to sell right here. Okay, you see the negative MACDs on the weekly, and then you're looking for the first bounce on the daily. I'm hoping this was the high here, 57.70 and a half, 57.65. The 10-bar moving average comes in at 85. Normally what happens is, now maybe not in this case, okay, but here's the other thing I want to show you. Look at the ADX rising on the weekly right here. Market's in trouble. When you see something like that right there, I'm hoping we get one more push up. The 10-bar comes in at 58.02. Even if we reverse to buy on the daily, it's not going to make a difference. Not when you have this pattern and this. The weekly doesn't go, okay, on my algorithm from sell to buy in a week. And if I show you the spiders, you can see the spiders as well right here. The spiders reverse to sell on Monday, right on the close of Friday, but when we open on Monday, ding, 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 they reverse. You don't look at this pattern, okay? This is going to be a problem here. Now, even if we do get another push up and we get into the 573, into the 10-bar, that would erase the net difference from the price to the moving average. But look at this number here, 599.41. That's not happening. Forget it. 599. So that means you would have to, in order to get a buy reversal, 599 minus the 565. That's 340 points on the S&Ps. That brings you up over 6,050. I don't see that happening here at all. So I'm hoping we get one more push up here tomorrow, and then I think they get absolutely cabooshed here. When these dailies roll over, I think it's going to be a big problem. This is the pattern I wanted to show you today, okay, on the S&P futures, on the 60-minute and the 30-minute time frame. I mean, this should have been the pattern just to stay short and just walk away right here on the S&Ps. When I saw this pattern here today, you're making new highs and the MACDs are non-confirming. You're making new highs on the 30-minute, and the 30-minute is non-confirming. If you see here, you could draw the line right here. Number two, you're getting overbought into the negative MACD. So you're making new highs. Here's the first divergence. and the 30 and the 60-minute MACDs are non-confirming. The second, you're getting overbought into the negative MACD. The third, the algorithm on the 60 reversed to buy when the MACDs are above the pivot on the 60. That's a short. He had three negative patterns. You know what should have happened? Just short them and walk away. That should have been the pattern. Meta goes from 610 down to 585 and change. S&Ps go from 57.65 all the way below. I think I got down to 93.94, 56.93.94. But some stocks bucked the trend, like MSCR rallied sharply off the lows, Coinbase rallied sharply off the lows, Avago got kabooshed, Nvidia is up on the day over $1, Microsoft got kabooshed from the 589 all the way down to below 585. Apple pushed up here towards the end of the day. So it was a really frustrating day, I have to tell you. This was a hard day overall on various names, but the index futures, the spiders and the Qs, beautiful patterns. And again, what happened is there was such a disconnect amongst the stocks and the overall market. Okay. And then when I was a little upset with myself here, I'll show you right here. I'm going to just show you this right here. The QQQs, when the 15-minute time frame reversed to sell and it correlated right here with the 60-minute time frame. Okay, now you have a sell disconnect between the 15 and the 60-minute time frame. Let me close that. Sorry, between the 15 and the 60-minute time frame. I had come back and just walked in, and I saw this pattern, but I couldn't speak fast enough. Okay, this is the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after the 15 correlated with the 60 for a sell disconnect, and the Qs dropped over $2. Look at this Qs, 580.70, boom, 578. Okay, I mean this dropped $2.70. Next short, boom, another short here. Okay, another short here, and then another short here at the end of the day. If you look here at the SQQQs, they reversed here to buy. MACD's positive, ADX is off. 5-minute time frame. This is the first pullback here on the 5. Now the SQQQs ran from 36.45. They ran 60 cents. While the SQQQs rallied 60 cents, the Qs dropped from 480.70 all the way down to 478. A monster pattern. I had walked out and something happened. And when I came back, I needed some time to focus. And boom, I saw the pattern, but it was too late. By the time I can say short S&Ps at 31 or 30 and a half, they were already down to 24. They dropped 6 to 7 points on the S&P. The Qs dropped on that immediately. Probably, I think I blinked. They were trading below 479 and a half, like that. I want to show you Palantir today. I was calling some shorts on the new highs. If you look here on the 30 and the 60-minute time frames, you can see Palantir. This is today here, but look at the 60-minute. I told people this morning, if Palantir makes a new high and you get overbought, okay? I said this to my community this morning. Look at this right here. Palantir, I was calling shorts here in Palantir. When it was making new high, the MACDs on the 60-minute time frame did not confirm. This is an absolute phenomenal pattern. Absolute phenomenal pattern. Again, and you're in a positive trend. But the MACDs could not confirm. Unbelievable. Okay? Unbelievable pattern. Tesla reversed to sell. We came in already knowing that the 60-minute Tesla was a negative mode. The 15 reversed to sell right here. You take the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame at 10:30. You can see it right here. And then when you look at Tesla on the 15, Here's the second bounce at 145. So again, the 15s correlated with the 60-minute time frame. And here's the short here in Tesla, 236.50. And you can see the drop of about roughly about $4.50, $5 there. Unbelievable pattern. SMCI, again, same pattern. SMCI, like a Tesla, reversed to sell on the 15. It correlated with the 60-minute time frame on indicator 4. You can see the 60-minute time frame when it pushed up today. That was yesterday. Here, you can see the 15s reversing, and then you take the first. This is a little bit of a bear flag right here. Okay, and if you look at the 5-minute time frames, well, this really was a good short here, but it really the oscillator probably got into around the 70, because remember, this plot's end of bar. But if you look here on SMCI at around 220 right here, this was a great short off the 5-minute time frame right here. Meta really disappointed me today a lot. I'm really surprised. I mean, Meta at one point today, this is the pattern most likely right here, that when this is the pattern that everything's set up on right here. After once the 15-minute time frame reversed to sell right there, that was the for me to know that the highs were in for the day. So that 609 and change, look at the negative MACD here. And then that happened at what time was that? That was the 130 pattern. Okay. And at the 130 pattern, when the 15 reversed to sell, then you look here, you can see this one probably should have been a really great short. The ADXs were rising. You can see the big selling pressure. ADX was continue to rise here. And this was probably another good short here. And then it just got absolutely kabooshed. What I was banking on Meta, believe it or not, was a significant deep oversold condition on the 30-minute time frame, and on the 60. And it just kept on going straight down. Oh, USOs. Okay, for those of you who are looking at the USOs, okay, for trading oil, we got the 30-minute buy reversal right here on the USOs. The 60 is already bullish. MACD's positive. Rising ADX is here. I'll put that over here. That's the 15. Let me put the 30 here. And then when you look at the 15-minute time frames right here, this was the buy here on the USOs, 73.41. Ultimately pushed oil up about 25 cents. You can see the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy. It correlated with the 15. Big MACD positive, rising ADX, big buying pressure. 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15, and this was a monster buy divergence, right? Again, oversold on the 15 into the positive MACDs on both the 30 and the 15s, oversold into the rising ADXs, oversold into the big buying pressure, and it also correlated with the 60-minute time frame. This was a monster pattern. All right, Microsoft reversed to sell in the 30-minute, had a big buy disconnect. I'm not in tomorrow. I won't have a podcast for the bull, the bear, and the ugly. I'll be traveling to Vegas, but I'll be back on Monday. But this market, to me, if we get that push up, I think there's a lot of downside to come here. At least maybe test one more push down near the lows and get that daily to get oversold again. With that overbought condition on the daily, you can see why 57.70. Next thing you know, you get the push up there, and both times the market dropped and fell. Big number today. At one point today, the QQQs were touching the 484.10, like they wanted to go positive. But I turned here and I looked at the 60-minute and the 30-minute time frame that I showed you earlier on the S&Ps, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was absolutely, I just said, they are going to get killed on this pattern. And they dropped to like 29.30. They got down, and then that was it. They never looked back. S&P's closed down 13. Gold still pushing up, making new highs here. This is getting long in the tooth. Even though gold broke out, you're gonna need to wait for a pullback on gold. Maybe we get a pullback like 29.5, 2,900 on gold. But I think this gold is still going to trade higher, but we need a pullback first here. All right. S&P is down 13, NASDAQ down 51. After being up on the day, they closed down on the day. Not a good sign. I think these dailies are telling us something, so it might be time to look out below. But I'm hoping for one more push up, and then if we do get a flush down in the next 3 to 5, 7 days, then there's probably going to be a deep oversold condition. You saw the deep oversold condition. The S&P's rallied from the 5509 to 5770. So that's not bad. 260 points on the S&P on the rally. But that 6166, that high on the S&P, that's not going to get touched for a while. All right. When I come back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, again, I'll be traveling to Vegas, but tomorrow, let me tell you what I expect. There's no 8:30 number tomorrow, which is a good thing, right? And the spiders, believe it or not, even with this 10-point decline here, the 60-minute and the 30-minute time frames are still in buy mode. But here's what you got to remember. I'm going to give you these numbers, so please write them down. If the spiders close on a 30-minute time frame below 563.17, the 30-minute time frame will reverse to sell. If the 60-minute time frame reverses and closes below the 560.43, the 60-minute time frame would reverse to sell. If that happens, then I would look to short the first bounce on the 5-minute, the second bounce on the 15-minute time frame. If the market trades up tomorrow, okay, and we rally 40, 50, 60, 70 points up on the S&P, you have negative MACDs on the 30-minute time frame on the Qs and on the spiders and on the Russell. The Russell and the spiders are still in buy mode on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. If you get this push up and you get to a severe overbought condition on the 30 and or 60-minute time frame on the Qs, spiders, Russell, diamonds, I would then look to short them. So that's the two scenarios for tomorrow. If they get a big push up and you got the negative MACDs on the spiders and the diamonds, the Russell and the Qs, and they push up and indicator 3 gets way overbought into 90 plus, I would let them have them. If we trade lower and these 30-minute time frames reverse to sell on the spiders 563.17 on a closing basis, right? The bar's got to close below, and this 560.43, and that closes below, you'll be in a negative trend. And then I will look to short the first bounce on the 5-minute, the second bounce on the 15. If only the 30-minute time frame reverses to sell at 563.17, then you'll have a sell disconnect. The 15 and the 30s would be in sell mode, and you still short the first bounce on the 5, and then you wait for a bounce on the 15-minute time frame to get short. Okay? The Qs are negative on indicator 4 on the 15 and on the 60-minute time frame. If the Qs take out 476.45 on the 30-minute time frame and they close negative, all three time frames will go into a sell mode. Then I will look to short the bounce on the 15-minute time frame, which should be the trade of the day. Okay, I think that's about it though. But well, Tesla right now, big numbers are 227.88. If Tesla takes that number out, we're about right now we're $9 above that. But this is the scenario for tomorrow. Okay, this is the scenario for tomorrow on the underlying ETFs, the spiders and the Qs. So that's what I expect tomorrow. Again, repeat one more time. If we get a big push up and we get way overbought on the 30-minute time, 15 and 30-minute in the 90, 92, 93, 94, with that negative MACD like that, then I would look to short them. Okay? Then I would look to short them. All right? If we get a market to drop tomorrow and those 30-minute time frames reverse to sell on the Qs and the spiders. Then I would look to short the first bounce on the 5 and then the second bounce on the 15-minute time frame. When I come back, I will tell you something that is really important in trading. So please pay attention, and I will be right back. So it's really important that I want to express this to you, right? So many people this morning, right on the opening, hit their goals. Boom. You know what? And yes, I understand that, once you hit your goal, then discipline has to come in. And when you hit your goal, in my personal opinion, since you're learning a new methodology, you just stop. You stop, you hit your goal, you watch, listen, and learn, right? There's nothing worse, as I told you earlier podcast, but I have to keep reiterating this. There's nothing worse than being able to take your profits and then go poof. And at the end of the day, give it up, or then even actually lose money on the day. I was so disciplined in my career that when I hit my $100 mark, my 200, my 300, my 400, as the story goes, as I explained this once before, and if I was up big money during the day, I don't ever remember going from being in the green to being in the red. If I was up big money during the day, maybe I'll say, okay, I'll risk $10,000 more. If I'm up $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, then I may risk 10. But I'm still going home in the green. So a lot of people were up, $500, $1,000, several $1,000s today. And today, I have to tell you, was an easy day on the ETF and index futures, but a hard day on individual. This I have to say, and for my 41 plus years of experience, this was a hard one. Some stocks got absolutely ugly. Okay, Meta. Okay, so, but the index futures and the ETFs were pretty much easy to read on the charts and the patterns. Coinbase, MSTR, okay, Amazon, Nvidia, Avago, the same names, Palantir. These names were okay. One name, Meta, didn't play out so well, right? But the index futures, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the spiders and the Qs. So again, when you hit your goal, you stop, you watch, you listen, and you learn. That's the message for today. And I think it's so important if I even do this, and I just got to constantly remind you. So many people at the end of the day were upset that they made their goals and then they lost a little bit on the day or lost whatever. But it's about hitting your goal and being that disciplined. Yeah, I understand. You're here. You want to be involved, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what? In the end, it's about coming back tomorrow for another day. And that's really important. All right. I'm Stephen Kalayjian. Thank you for joining me here on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. I will not be doing a podcast tomorrow. I will be traveling, like I said, into Vegas for an event I have to speak on Saturday at 4. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment. Join my community, sktrading.live. Really great community of traders from all around the world. Everybody is part of our Discord. Everybody works with each other. It's just a remarkable day working with everybody in my live stream, my Discord, looking at the trades, teaching you, guiding you along the way. Follow me on X at Steve Kalayjian. And if anybody needs to call me or text me, my number is 914-500-7484. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Good night, everybody. See you Monday.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.